Hey, mate.
How are we, Greg? Can you hear me?
Gotcha.
Awesome. Awesome.
What's going on?
Mate, I'm going to go close that door behind me because that's the toilet, so I'll shut that, I told my beautiful 7-year-old daughter I've got a meeting on. Keep the door shut.
How's things?
Yeah, going well, mate. Like everyone, just trying to work through what we've got in front of us at the moment. But yeah, been a good week. Started doing some one-on-ones again, face-to-face.
Yep.
I've sort of stepped away from that just due to family reasons. He's got a family member quite ill, so I didn't want to compromise his health. And so now I'm back into it. So.
Yeah. How you been finding it all anyway? Like you've been online from straight away pretty much?
Yeah, I have, mate. I'm very fortunate that I've obviously been in the industry 25 years, feeling old saying that, but don't look it, do I?
No, never.
I'm trying to keep up with the young people, the millennials, mate, like you. But yeah, I was fortunate. I already had set up some sort of like Zoom training, not so much the physical training, but more so the consultancy work. So I was sort of privy of how to do that.
Yeah.
But it has been a change, like for everyone, mate. Just trying to train people across the world, or here in Australia, just online. It's not the same, but it's certainly a good platform.
Yeah, definitely. What's your background? What have you done? Like you just mentioned 25 years in the industry. That's ages. Like that, I know I'm not trying to make you feel old, but I'm saying like 25 years, like that's a fair stint. So what have you done? Have you tried to always do the similar stuff where you've evolved and changed roles? You've changed what you've done the whole way through. So what have you done over the 25 years?
Yeah, mate, I love this conversation because, you know, we're just starting to get to know each other. We've met through mutual friends and athletes. But, mate, my career's been quite diverse. Again, I've been blessed to work across corporate fitness centres such as Fairfax and News Limited. I helped set those up and managed those two plus Toyota Corporation at Woolooware down the road.
Yep.
And at the same time, an ex-wife and I started a fitness studio in Caringbah, New South Wales, and it was a Pilates personal training studio, the first of its kind. And back in the late sort of 90s, so very, very much one of the first sort of boutique fitness studios. So that was an awesome learning environment. And from there, I bought another one and built it up, made it profitable, and sold it just down in Sutherland here in New South Wales as well. So, yeah, that was the fitness sort of industry. And I've been able to consult to businesses, small sort of startups, especially young guys like yourself who are looking for a little bit of mentoring. And so one of my, I guess, principles is about to give back, if it's whether it be strength and conditioning industry or whether it be the fitness industry, just giving back. And, mate, so I had to help a few of the local sort of studios or gyms that are open now. I've been better put my little, I guess, touch to that to help those business owners start. And they've gone on the flourish, some of them. Some of them have gone on to different industries.
Yep.
So that's a pleasure to watch that. But, mate, my background really is in human, I guess, performance. I really love the physical preparation of athletes.
Yep.
Young and old, young or emerging. And just turn my alarm off, sorry, mate. And that's allowed me to travel the world, working with Samoan Rugby League, 2 World Cups of 4 nations, worked for some national teams, Cronulla Sharks down the road, which was awesome. But also, been blessed to run the NRL referees for just on 9 years, actually, as the head of performance there. So,
You mentioned mentoring. Did you have a mentor when you first started out in the career? Did you have someone that helped you like through everything, or how did you sort of design where you wanted to head your profession?
Yeah, mate, I guess like yourself, I'm always looking to learn. I'm never going to be greater than someone who's walked the journey before me. So I think it's really important. Iron sharpens iron. I like that verse out of the Bible, believe it is. But my father was probably my first mentor. I had a really strong relationship with Dad, and Dad was a great leader of people. He actually left the shores of Australia, went to New Zealand, and they started one of the first franchises of the Big M, McDonald's.
Yeah, right.
So my siblings and I were pretty much ingrained in the McDonald's culture.
Yep.
From the start up. And, that was tough going. Like a lot of those franchises that started in New Zealand especially, a lot of pressure, a lot of number crunching, a lot of stress. And my father, fortunately, we had the ability to balance the corporate world in with his family.
Yep.
He lost a couple of friends to suicide, mental illness, and a couple others to heart attacks just through just poor health choices.
Yep.
And so Dad was always that mentoring about leading yourself before lead others, looking after yourself. Like, the old classical, you get in the plane and you got to pull the oxygen down if you get in trouble.
Yeah.
Help yourself before you can help the young or the old. So it was always about that, not being selfish, but just making sure that you're investing into you so you can give energy to others. And so he was my first mentor, and he still is to this day, mate.
Yep.
Business-wise and the world of sport-wise, I've had some great mentors. Scotty Campbell of recent, probably the past decade in strength and conditioning.
Yep.
Very humble man, a lot of knowledge. 32 years, I think, in the NRL.
Yep.
But you wouldn't know. If you talk to him, he just treats you, and he doesn't boast, brag about his, three. He had a little fitness business called 3 Ring Fit because he's won 3 premierships as a strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah, right.
And that's the only reason you'd know he's had 3 rings, because he never talks about those successes in the way some people would. He's just very humble.
Yep.
But he's also taught me about patience, mate. He's 62 years of age. I hope he doesn't, if he watches this, he doesn't mind me saying it. But sometimes you get frustrated, don't you, trying to make your way into a career and you're trying to force the hand for it.
Yeah.
He just says, time will be right, and you just got to step back sometimes, look in and develop yourself, your tools, and and then when the time comes, be prepared. Like, it's too late to prepare when the opportunity arises.
Yeah, definitely.
Prepare now, and that's what I always say to my athletes as well. You got to prepare for that opportunity when it arises. You're ready to go, ready to roll.
Did you always know that you wanted to work with athletes when you had your studios and stuff like that? Were you always heading down that direction?
Yeah, yes and no. I played rugby league just to sort of President's Cup level, under 21s, and I sort of lost the passion for it, but I still wanted to be involved somehow. I just didn't know how that was going to look, and I was offered an opportunity to work at Moorebank Metropolitan Cup, which was basically the feeder into the Bulldogs, and it was between the Super League ARL war, and Kevin Moore was the coach, and he said, "Look, mate, why don't you come down and be an assistant S&C?" I was 21, so I was coaching or S&Cing friends of mine, guys that went on to play NRL, win premierships.
Yep.
And so it was a learning curve because I had to separate myself from a friendship to be a coach.
Yeah.
And
what did you learn during that period? Because I've always found that interesting, because a lot of people, like, as you know, we've got friends that we train. Did you find that hard at a young age to have to separate like a friendship and like actually what they had to do and what they needed to do?
Yes and no. I think certainly there's times where you got to draw a line in the sand, but in essence, I think even our personal training clients or small group training clients, I just treat everyone the same.
Yeah. And
the athlete needs to know that they're loved.
Yeah. That
they're cared for, and then it can be that rapport and that relationship. Yes, in the end of the day, my mates who are sort of preparing for games of rugby league, they need to know that I need to get the job done.
Yeah.
And they need to do the job for me. So, the coach sees that there's that buy-in, the engagement. But I can honestly say, mate, 20 years, I've never really had an athlete take the piss and disrespect me. And if there has been, it's been quickly nipped in the bud, just with a conversation. And I think that's important, that you have that relationship, you communicate together. Yeah,
definitely. Obviously we're in COVID-19 territory now. Main reason that I wanted to contact you to have this chat is, what's your thoughts on, firstly, how it's all played out? What do you think in the fitness industry? What are your thoughts on when everything closed down? How do you think everyone handled it?
Yeah, it's probably, of course, it's new territory. I think there was some people that it just sort of threw them.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've had some chats with some young, when I say young trainers, young in the industry, who sort of saw this as, my career's over.
Yeah.
I can't prepare for this. It's just hit me, and they've panicked. I think the fitness industry have come out with a report, Fitness Australia, saying that 3 out of 10 trainers are currently working with a client, you know. And so since this happened 6 weeks ago, 7 trainers have dropped off from training their clientele for some reason.
Yeah.
And there's others that are, you know, who I've journeyed 20 years with in the industry, who, you know, about to keep their clientele. It might have dropped off 20%, but about to keep the clientele flowing, and whether it be having a diverse business where they're already doing some online stuff, perhaps they're already doing work in the park or at their homes one-on-one anyway.
Yep.
But I think we didn't have time to prepare for this. And my concern, Greg, I think we've spoken about it, is prior, is it's COVID-19. What happens if the COVID-20 comes? Are we prepared for something more substantial than a lockdown for 6 weeks?
Yeah.
In our industry.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, we did talk about it. We have been in touch since it all sort of happened, and I'm sure you're having the same conversation with other people too. People have handled it really well and just embraced it. And I think it's a matter of acceptance. Like, if you can accept, okay, this is what it is, and not play the like, oh, this is happening to me kind of thing. I think a lot of trainers are saying like, oh, you know, this sucks. Like, my job, I've lost my job, but other people haven't lost theirs. I think if you're playing that game, it's sort of a bit dangerous, because we all have to evolve eventually in our careers or as people. And some people haven't handled it great, but they've obviously still got plenty of time to turn it around. Others have sort of looked at it as a time to accept it for what it is, and then how can I do something to still help my clients? And like you mentioned about caring for your clients, I think that's really important. Like, I think that as an industry, we need to make sure that we're putting our clients first at this time. It's not about being selfish for ourselves right now. We need to reach out, talk to our clients, and help them in any way we can.
Mate, there's a great book I was reading. My wife bought it for me. It's a guy called Dale Partridge, and it's a brilliant book for anyone out there in our industry, People Over Profit.
Yep.
And that's been my sort of, I guess, ethos for many years. But this guy in the States wrote this book about his business, and about how if you investing into the people that you either working for you or you're working for in terms of your clients in our fitness industry, we're trying to service. We're a service industry.
Yeah, exactly.
And all of a sudden we go, oh, okay, COVID's come along. Oh, well, I can't train you anymore. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll pick you up in 6 weeks' time or 12 weeks' time or 6 months' time. Well, unfortunately, people want to know that they are loved. In the end of the day, they're cared for, that they're going to be serviced. And I think the trainers are doing really well. Is the ones, as you said, have embraced it, Greg, and okay, we're going to have a little bit of a setback, or we're going to have a little bit of a loss of finance. But in the end, we're just going to weather this storm. Keep positive. We are fitness leaders. We are fitness professionals. So we need to be leading community through this, so leading our gym member through this time as well, and making sure that their mental space or mental wellness as well, that their physical fitness is still maintained. Because they're the things that the government, the health departments are saying that they're going to get you through any of this if you did get the illness, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's a bit funny, isn't it? Because at the same time, you can't go to gyms and stuff like that. Isn't it good to see everyone out riding their bikes and seeing like parents playing with their kids at the park for the first time? A lot of parents, and like I've got a 19-month-old, and I've seen it just recently, and it just flicked to me the other day. I see a lot of parents take their kids to the playground, and they just watch their kids play in the playground, but they don't actually like interact with them and play with them as much as you'd think.
Yeah.
And then now you see them, the playgrounds are shut. Like, they can't just take them to a playground. So they're taking them up to the park and they're kicking the ball around, and they're doing a lot more with their kids. And it's like a blessing in disguise. Like, it's reconnecting us in a different way, I think, that is really positive. Like, we're getting all this time to spend with our family. we're doing it in a special way where we get to actually interact with them and you know, be active with them. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's rewiring us in a way. I had a good friend of mine I grew up with, and we'd talk and we sort of connected back up, and he was saying COVID-19 saved my family, saved my life in essence.
Yeah.
And it might be a bit extreme, but he basically said he was so focusing on his work.
Yeah.
And although his work actually, fortunately, involves his son and his daughter, but he said I was sort of there for them, but I wasn't there as their father.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I mean, I've been slack. I look back now. I've been able to step out, look back in. My fathering was quite poor. People would say, "Oh, you're a committed dad. You're quite involved." But really, like you said, maybe I was that dad in the park who wasn't engaging fully with them.
Yeah.
It was a good little book I read once from Andrew May, who talks about health and wellness and performance, Maisie. And he talked about the father who's at the park and he's kicking the ball with his son. He's kicking it, but he's on the actual phone at the same time.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, he's there. It's like a phantom absenteeism. You're there, but you're not actually there. You're really
right.
not engaged, are you? So I think it's important that this period of time that we look at resetting our values, I guess. And one of them is family for me. It's one of the big key drivers. And yeah, I think going out today, prior to talking to you, playing 20 minutes of just fun backyard basketball with my 7-year-old daughter and just having a laugh and a giggle and watching her tear me apart. But, it's engaging again with them.
It is. And I think you were doing a lot of posts, when it all sort of first happened about still being able to just get out and enjoy the sunshine. Like I think a lot of people sort of just shut their doors and thought that, they can't do everything anymore. It's nice to just be able to I keep going back to it, but acceptance and just being present. And I think that if you can just go outside and enjoy the actual environment that we've got and the breeze and I know it sounds silly, but all those small things, it just makes you appreciate everything in a different way rather than just focusing on, I've lost my job or, all this other stuff is going on. We get to actually just take in the present time where we get to enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it's perspective, isn't it, mate? I mean,
yeah.
Again, I'm no guru on mindfulness or just living in the moment, so to speak. But I've been through stuff in life which has been a lot worse than what we're going through. But there's a lot of people that have been through worse than me. So I look at perspective and go, okay, what can I do today to just make sure I'm, leading my family well, but also just I don't want to survive. I don't want to be in that survival mechanism of being there. I want to be thriving, and I want those around me to be thriving as well.
Yeah.
But perspective is okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll put it out here. I am on the JobKeeper payment.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I spoke to my accountant and said, you're entitled to this. You're going to have a 30% decrease in your income. So you're entitled to it. So
yeah, I'm the same. I'm on it too. Yeah.
And that's the sign of, just vulnerability. I've had some good conversations with some of the guys I mentor in the industry, whether it be strength and conditioning, whether it be fitness trainers. And I've got 6 of them. I could, I'm on a regular basis with them, just talking, conversing, life stuff and just training stuff. And 5 out of the 6 were going, yeah, mate, it is tough, and realise I've got to change a few things and maybe look to go on an online presence, and maybe I should have thought about that before. You're just sort of talking through that. But then one guy's this gung-ho, young, love his energy. Oh, no, it hasn't affected me. I'm killing it. Actually, in fact, I'm getting busier.
Yeah, right.
Oh, mate, you're one of the ones that must be really going well. But in reality is we were going to take a little bit of a knock, and I was encouraging all the young guys and girls that I'm training, just look at talking to your accountant, talking to your bank manager. You can put your mortgage on hold for 6 months if you have a good chat with them. I've done that before in the past. You can look at getting some type of assistance through the government. So there are good schemes there, and we've got to take advantage of it during this time. But when the time rolls around and the doors open up and the gyms open up and the fitness centres open up, that we're ready to go again. Yeah.
Yep. Definitely. How's your clients been from a personal perspective with their fitness and their health? Have they approached it all right? Have you found that it's been okay? They've responded well to it?
Yeah, I think, Greg, mate, the perspective there is, again, a perspective like they realise that they perhaps aren't going to get personal records. They're not going to get PBs
of
if
course.
it's an athlete.
Yep.
They're going to maintain, hopefully they maintain their strength, maintain their adaptation to speed development, stuff like that. When it comes to the health and fitness client, again, I've spoken to a lot of them about what you were saying before. Get outside, engage with the environment, even if it's in your backyard, to get the vitamin D, because we're looking for good quality sleep at this present time to eliminate stress, I guess. We want to make sure that our fitness, for me, our fitness client, our health client, is just ticking some boxes, getting a good routine each day, and whether it be just moving the body. Again, they might not have the equipment like I've got downstairs in my gym to do what I would like them to do.
Yeah.
But they can move. They've got a body, they've got space, they've got a gym.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that the conversations I've been having with clients is I've just been trying to just flip it. If they seem a little bit negative in terms of a couple of times I've heard, geez, I feel like shit today. Like after that session, like that was so hard. I've lost my fitness and I've lost this, like compared to, when we were in the gym. And I sort of tried to flip it on them and I said, but imagine if you just took this 6 weeks off. Like imagine how bad you'd feel coming back, like doing nothing at all. Like you should be like saying like, I'm glad that I'm doing something and I'm doing something is better than nothing. Everyone's getting through it in a different way. Some people have gone all in on their training and like it's really been something new for them to follow, which is great. Other people, like they're just handling it differently. But at the end of the day, like you just got to look at it as you're doing something which is great, and then it's going to make it easier for you when you get back into your full routine if you can't keep your routine at the moment.
Yeah, I look at Strava. I'm on Strava. I mean, probably on too many gadgets. I think I read somewhere the other day that the millennial bracket, the 18 to 36-year-olds, 81% of them, 81% of all gym users are millennial age.
Right.
And the majority of the millennials are using a app or two apps for their fitness and health.
Yeah.
And I think I'm probably trying to show my youth, trying to bring it back down a bit. But I'm on Strava and I'm noticing all these bloody, even like professional athletes. What are you doing a 40K bike ride for?
Yeah.
I'm going out. I'm going to try and set a record. There was one guy I was following. He's ran 750 kilometres in the month of April. I'm thinking, what for? But mate, I think, like you're saying, people have different ways of responding. And I think for me, what you were saying before about seeing the families out kicking the ball, playing frisbee.
Yeah.
Like flying kites. I mean, you probably did that in Wagga, but I've never seen that in bloody Mexico. Flying kites. And as you said, the bike sales have gone up. Just there goes the wife. The chain reaction store down in Cronulla, I think someone said it's gone up 300% in sales.
Doesn't surprise me. I went to buy one the other day and I was like, far out. Like, there was just people everywhere.
It's crazy. It's good, but you think, might have a few spare bikes, for sale at the end of this, or maybe some gym equipment. What are you doing?
What do you think about, how do you think it's going to transfer in? Like, how do you think that, like, we're in this period now, so obviously it's the unknown on an exact time when it's going to return to doors being open for gyms and stuff. What do you think the transition is going to look like? Do you think that it'll come in with groups of 10 inside, or do you think it'll come in fully open? How do you think it'll work?
I think the gym industry, the fitness industry is really waiting on Scott Morrison's press conference tomorrow. You look at the 6,500 associated fitness businesses across Australia today. Before COVID-19, their doors are open, whether it be nutritionists, whether it be, health and wellness centres to, recovery centres to fitness centres. I looked at some of the stats and I think big chains, the Fitness First of the world, they will struggle with it if Scott says, Prime Minister says, we're going to go back to allow 10 people in.
Yep.
Financially won't be viable for the big chains. Boutique gyms, yes. I think they could get away with having 10 people on the hour coming in. As long as they're keeping everything, above board in terms of health regulations.
you think they'll do
I
that?
think
Do you think they'll intro 10 in, or do you reckon they'll just like open like a particular type? Or do you reckon they'll say like small group PT or small, members less than this much can open fully? Or how do you think it'll work?
I reckon, mate. My gut feeling would be to be small groups, like something like one on four.
Yeah.
Again, how do you police the spacing and making sure everything's cleaned? That's going to be up to us, the fitness professional, the exercise scientists, the exercise physiologists, whatever you call yourself. It'll be up to us to make sure that we are really being vigilant in that, because could you imagine they open the doors, and this is the big risk of the NRL, I reckon. They open the doors to the NRL, one player gets it, are they going to shut it down?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, hope not, but
Yeah, but they might not be left with the option. Like, that's the thing, that's the risk they're taking is. But they're going to, I've talked to a few of the boys, and they're going to extreme measures to try to, keep them all safe. So hopefully nothing happens.
So those extreme measures, things like, I know of one where you've got to leave your training shoes.
Yep.
Are we going to be doing this with gym members?
That's right. That's exactly right. Don't know how it's going to work. Do you think so? Big chains will struggle. Like I definitely agree with that. I think that people are going to come out of this really craving that one-on-one care.
Yeah.
So I think that, like, in terms of one-on-one training in any form, I think it's going to like just boom, because I think that people are going to want that personal touch. They want that care. They want people to look out for them. The risks of, spreading germs and stuff are a lot lower. I think that all of that is going to work in the benefit of the one-on-ones to small groups. But like you said, I think the big chains are going to struggle. The big group fitness ones, I think they'll struggle too.
Yeah, look, I already know of a few remain nameless of these centres, but they aren't going to open their doors again. And it's not in this area. I live in the Sutherland Shire.
Yep.
It's out of this area. They just can't afford at the moment. I think it was 90%, this report from Fitness Australia came out the other day, 90% of current fitness operations on average are forking out $5,000 a month to keep operating.
Yeah, right.
Without even their doors open.
Yeah.
So how are they, what's the income coming in? Because I know myself, I've actually brought my fees down to service the online client, because you don't have that one-on-one engagement. You are in this screen environment, but you're like me. I know I've talked to some of your clients. You get around. You're fully invested in making sure they're moving correctly.
Yep.
So you're fully engaged, and so that client knows you're servicing them.
Yeah.
You're not worried about the next client coming in. You're not doing the same program with that client that you just did 20 minutes ago. This is where I think one-on-one is going to grow, because if the good trainers or the cream will come to the top.
Yeah.
And because they're fully invested in the client they're training.
Yeah. Well, at the start, a while ago, you mentioned 3 out of 10 trainers doing their one-on-one training, right? And the other 7 aren't. So that just pretty much means that for whatever reason, and if they've gone to chase a different passion or to change their industry or whatever it is, then good on them. Like, that's great. Like, that's fine. But if they're sort of like just sitting and waiting for everything to reopen, I think that's a disservice to their clients, because this is a time where we're supposed to be helping each other, like, get through everything.
Yeah.
And I think fitness is, I know I don't want to harp on it, but it is a really important thing, because it's keeping everyone sane. It's giving them something to do that's positive for themselves to keep healthy. And I think that it's a bit tough if you're able to do PT and you choose not to, and you do nothing, like you're not working. I think that's poor form. I don't think that that's good enough for your clients, in my books anyway. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I'll probably agree totally. There's a bit of I guess there's a catch-22. So you think about those big chains where you might be paying rent, say a Fitness First, for example, and it'd be interesting to hear their take on this. But I know a couple of Fitness First trainers do a very good job, got flourishing businesses there, and they've decided to train these clients now in the park, which is awesome, one-on-one stuff, Some have chosen not to take up that option. Like, I've had some clients chosen not to. They're a bit older. They're set in their way where they think, okay, maybe there still can be some transmission there. So they'll tend to just want to do this FaceTime training.
Yep.
Or for me to do some remote programming for them. There goes the daughter. This is raw. 81%, Greg, 81% of fitness trainers lost their job on March the 30th when they closed the door 6 weeks ago, apparently.
Yeah.
So 81% due to either the big chains closing and they say, okay, we can't allow you to come and use our facilities anymore. So did some of those trainers say, okay, I'm just going to do nothing?
Yeah.
We have a mentality. I know we're a pretty driven nation, but we're a pretty lazy nation as well. And so the government have probably made a rod for our back. They're giving us these stimulus packages.
Yeah.
And I've got, like, mate, I know people who are not even in our industry think, wow, 1,500 a fortnight, I can surf every day of the week at the moment.
Yeah.
Rightfully or wrongfully, but mate, I'm differently wired, a different motivation. But I want to be one of those people, as I said, leading and making sure I'm leading those guys I'm mentoring too. So encouraging them to do some training with clients, understanding the perspective that you're going to lose some at this time, but keep engaged with them, keep communicating with them. Text message. In my days, it was a letter. We called it the 30-cent rule. We'd send a letter with a stamp on, cost 30 cents.
Yep.
What text costs you nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I remember the days where I used to, with all my clients at Christmas, we'd go away and I'd send a postcard from Fiji. And at the time, mate, we had a Pilates studio that was seeing about 250 sessions a week, not 250 clients, but and we'd send a postcard to all of them. They'd think, wow, from Fiji.
Yeah.
And they're the little things.
Yeah.
That's the service. And that was authentic. We just wanted to say, have a great Christmas. We're missing training you guys. Can't wait to get back in January. The doors will be back open. Little things like that. Hope your family's well.
Yeah.
Bulla from Fiji, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we doing that? Are you trainers out there keeping in contact with your clients? Because, you know, as you said before, it is care that's required. And the genuine relationship to build. I mean, my longest client I've had is for 20 years. Yeah. And I feel really proud and privileged to be part of his life. He's now, you know, he's been at the top of the food chain in corporate Australia. But I can sit here and be proudly say he treats me like a son that he never had, you know.
Yep.
And yeah, hopefully my guys that I mentor, the businesses I mentor, that hopefully they can have those same relationships that can rub off on them to know that you're a valued member, you're a valued client. And even if you're not training at the moment one-on-one physically with me, that you're doing something and I'm going to keep you accountable, keep a check on you.
Yeah. Like do you think more gyms will, not more gyms, but more small gyms will open after this because the niche market might open up for something like that? Or do you think that it's a bit too risky and people will probably just hold off on it for a while to see how everyone responds?
I read somewhere the other day, another report, 2018, the peak of group training, larger group training was on the decline. So it hit its peak and it was starting to come down the curve.
Yep.
I think boutique small group training is starting to rise up. It was. You know, the 1-on-4s, the 1-on-6s. One, it creates accountability, doesn't it, for the client? They know that Greg's coming, or they know Susan's coming, or they know Billy's coming.
Yep.
I better turn up.
Yep.
It's cost effective.
Yep.
For a client. And we've got to think that this is a very much a privileged service, personal training. It's a luxury item. And if I'm doing it tough, a little bit, looking at my budget, I'm probably not going to go out and get that massage or get my hair done every day, you know, every week. So we've got a perspective is that PT can be quite a luxury item for some people.
Definitely.
So if it can become cost effective and I'm paying $30 a session versus $100 a session, maybe I'll start doing the small group stuff in groups of 4.
Yep.
And what that does is common sense there. It creates a little bit more of an earning capacity for a trainer as well, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe allow the trainer to sort of sit back. And that's what I've been looking at. You know, I work just as hard one-on-one as I do 1-on-10.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm going, okay, maybe I can use my time a little bit wiser and sort of chunk, in the smaller group stuff, still give them some good service, make some individual sort of exercises for them,
Yep.
but be more effective with my time, Greg.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think small groups will go up. Small group boutique sort of training will go up. I'm just a bit worried about, some of these other gyms that are out there at the moment, like your CrossFit gyms have spent a lot of money. There's a lot of leasing, hire agreements that, I've owned 2 gyms before. To service that, the repayments are high,
Yeah.
So not to be like a bearer of bad news, but we've got to be realistic. I think, 6,500 different sort of businesses involved in the fitness industry. We might lose a few of those. Maybe it might allow some trainers to think, okay, can I combine with Greg down the road? Can I combine with Klint down the road and have 3 or 4 trainers working at a facility and covering costs? And I've really loved working out of my gym.
Yeah.
At home.
I've loved being outdoors too. And I think that's the thing is like at the start, yes, everyone was like, I don't know what's going to come out of this. Like, I don't know how to approach it, but it was all just unknown territory, like you said. But coming out of it, like I've really enjoyed it. Like, to be honest, the last couple of weeks has been awesome. My clients every day turn up excited to train. They get to still mingle. So like they turn up when a client's leaving and say g'day to them when they're leaving. When they finished, another client turns up, so they say g'day to them when they're arriving or leaving. So the community feels still there, like they still feel connected in some way to the people that you train. And the best thing for me, I think, is where I train up at Guyamere at the Oval. 2 other trainers are there. One is a guy that I've known for a long time. I worked at the gym when I first moved up here.
Got to be on your game.
And he was there. And then another guy who I'd never met before. But both of them, I feel, are very similar in the fact that we all talk to each other's clients. So we've got nothing to do with each other. Like, we're separate, we're away from each other, and we're doing one-on-one training. So it's all within the rules. But yet when their clients walk past, we say g'day to them, good morning, how you going? So it feels like just a small community up there.
Yeah,
and everyone gets to enjoy it. You get your training done still. And for me, like, being outdoors, it's just something I wouldn't do. If the gym was open, I just wouldn't be doing my training outdoors. Yeah. So it's good to be able to look at it from the thing that I'm looking at is, if I go back to a gym, I still want to do a few days outdoors, because my clients have enjoyed it. The field sessions have been awesome. Like, I don't normally get to go to the field too much, but getting clients into field stuff when they're not used to doing field work, they've found that really challenging and exciting, a new type of training for them.
Different dynamic. Yeah,
different dynamic and a different angle to work on. And so it's cool to sort of expose your clients to different types of training during all this as well.
What I think it does too, it sort of opens their eyes up, doesn't it?
Definitely.
And I think what we're saying, will the gym membership decrease post this? Because I think, again, these clients who are members from gyms, they're starting to see that they can train outdoors.
Yep.
They do have the intrinsic motivation to do it.
Yep.
They've had to have this COVID-19 to push them a little bit.
Yep.
But hang on, I can train by myself or with another partner, or with a friend, and I can do it.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing, because as trainers, we should be educating, we should be building into and building up our clients that one day they just leave the nest anyway. They may come back, like my client for 20 years, hasn't been training me every week for 20 years.
Yeah.
He might have a goal to walk the Milford Sound track. So he comes back because he knows I'll be able to get him to that level he needs.
Yeah.
So, but we should be engaging these clients that they can do stuff in themselves out in the park, like you've found, and that, this is good.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
4 walls.
It's a great point that you said, because I've always sort of really enjoyed looking at it that way. If as a trainer, you can educate your clients to train and you teach them why you're doing the training that you're doing with them so that they can do it on their own, that's a huge thing. Like that's a massive thing that you can give them and a massive tool you can give them. So if we can be training them, or for me personally, if I'm training them outside and I can show them how to utilize a bench and a field and just whatever's in their surroundings at a local park to do a really good session in different ways, then they can go like, oh, like you said, oh, I can do this all the time on my own. Like there's nothing stopping me from coming up here and doing that exact session tomorrow. So
well, it was a light bulb moment a couple of weeks ago. I'm training this client who's motivated and trains every day. But when they go away, when the family goes away, he sort of gets lost. Oh, what am I going to do?
yeah,
And he goes to these nice hotels, got good gyms and stuff. So he should be able to do some stuff because he's been taught. But some people just need that little bit of accountability, a little bit of motivation.
Yep.
So I'll write him I'll do a video program, and he's got it on WhatsApp so he can watch it and do the program. 8 times out of 10, he'll come back from that holiday and go, how'd you go? How many times you do these programs? Oh, 2 or 3, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Why haven't I, light bulb moment, why haven't I been doing FaceTime with him while he's been away?
Yeah.
Go down the gym for 20 minutes in the morning before the kids wake up, hotel gym. I could have been doing it.
Yep.
And he would have been training every day.
Yep. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a whole new element we can add to what we're already doing. Like what we were doing before everything shut down. Some people might have been doing great. Others might not have been doing as well, but they can learn from this period. And now we've got all these upskills that we can use to like you said, you've realized that because of this situation. So it's pretty cool that next time he goes away, you can be like, hey mate, we're going to do a little call. Keep him on.
The generation in high school today, we sort of paint them this brush that they've got no concentration, they can't focus. And well, mate, you put I'm going to use my terminology of the age. You put an arcade game in front of them, they're focused. You put the Xbox in front of them, they're focused. They can play Fortnite all night.
Yeah, I know.
And I have been really encouraged by the age group of 13 to 15. I've been training on the Zoom, 6 kids. And it's hard because I'm a really hands-on coach trying to get around and correct form and stuff. And it's all speed work. This is orientated around speed training for rugby league and AFL. But they have been really engaged. I've cut the sessions down to 40 minutes, not an hour, 40 minutes.
Yep.
But they've been able to concentrate and they have improved their form. And I saw 2 of them on Saturday. So it's been 6 weeks of online training, 2 days a week. They have come back more coordinated, look like they're more athletic. And I'm glad that we got them to engage in the Zoom training.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
But they can concentrate. They can focus. I've seen them do it. So we've got to use this as a platform. Don't use it as the be-all and end-all, but use it as a tool in our toolbox, I think.
Yeah. That's unreal.
I'll just go back to small group training, mate. IRSHA, International Recreation Health Sports Association, I think it's called. They put a report out in 2018, and across the industry, across the world, it was a 5% growth each year.
Mm.
And they predicted by the turn of 2019, it'll only be a 2.9%, so just a 3% growth, so there will be a decline. Now, they never knew this was coming.
Yeah.
But they were predicting in 2022 and 2023 that we'll be down to only a 1.8% revenue growth because of saturation.
Yep.
And market, market competition. So there'll be cost cutting and all this sort of stuff happening. So it'll be interesting, mate. As we say, will small group training be the next sort of, I think there's 26% of gym users are doing small group training.
Yep.
I think it sits higher than personal training. I think personal training was 17% or something. So I think small groups already got a platform to keep going.
Yeah, definitely.
So I reckon, mate, if we can, you and I, we're thinking about our next business model. Maybe that may be where we should be going ourselves.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just easier to program too. So I think in the big groups, it's very hard to program everything in an individualized way. Like obviously you can only give people, X amount of stuff to do. So I think that like the smaller group stuff, the smaller it gets, the more focused it gets. Like one-on-one's obviously the ultimate personal experience for someone who's wanting to have something individualized. But then if you can do a group of 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 8 or 10, whatever it is, you're still going to get that more personalized, structured program that's going to suit that individual. Yeah. So I think that like I said, coming out of this, I think everyone's going to want that. I think there's going to be a big need for it. I think that people are going to be like, all right, well, I've been training and I feel like I've kept my fitness, but I've lost a lot of my strength because I didn't have the equipment that I wanted.
Yeah, 100%.
I've had some niggles come back with my back or whatever because I wasn't able to do a lot of stuff that I used to do at the gym. So you can almost just like pick your people that are in different categories, group them together into these small groups and get them to work on, everyone that needs to do glute work can do glute work. Everyone that needs to do power work can do this, and have them all in their different groups.
Almost becomes like a professional sporting environment where you do have those people working on adductor strength or, like you said, glute strength, hamstring rehabilitation, whatever it is. It's funny because I think 1999 I opened the Pilates studio, PT studio, and we were doing 1-on-4.
Yep.
And it worked really well. We just fell into that model. We thought it was cost effective for this area at the time. Double Bay, Rose Bay, Neutral Bay, all the Bay areas were charging. We're doing 1-on-1 reformer classes. And we just thought, let's do 1-on-4 and keep the cost down. And it worked really well. And it's a model that I have used with my young athletes. I never train any more than 10. I think you lose that personal touch.
Definitely, yeah.
And especially when if you're working with people, as you just said there, might have some niggles, whether they've got some back issues and stuff, you want to make sure that you're on, don't you?
Definitely. And if it is a money thing, and that's what I'm trying to get it back to, is if it's a money thing and they just can't afford the 1-on-1, then at least you can say to them, you've got that option there. You can say, look, I've got 2 or 3 other people that are in a similar boat to you. So why don't we chuck this together? We'll go through the same stuff. You can learn, off each other, and I can advance you through what you need to go through.
Yeah, colleague in the industry, Klint Hill, we were talking about this, that do you want to charge $100 an hour, which, fantastic, $100 an hour, and you might see that person one time in the week.
Yep.
Get them into a small group where they might be $30, $40, but there's $80. You see them twice.
Yeah.
Going to get more results from that, I believe. So.
Yeah. No.
It's interesting, isn't it, mate, where this whole virtual training is going to go to. I don't know what you all know about that, but Jim started to do this, where you could work out and you'd be in the Himalayas climbing the mountain and you're on a stepper or something. Maybe that's going to grow too now that people go, I can be in my lounge room cycling the Tour de France.
It's hard. I think that's a tricky one because if you're catering just for the people that you trained in your gym in a personal experience, I think that it's almost impossible to keep doing it because one, you're going to have to go back to doing all of the solid services in the gym. So all your hours are going to go back to being that personal time. And the people that you've marketed it to are the people that are already coming. Yeah. But there are people that have grown their online audience. So if you're almost hitting people from Melbourne, people from New Zealand, people from all these other places, then there's a huge possibility that that you can go back, that you can go back to training your clients in your gym, but also having this awesome revenue on top of that, where you're training people online on the side, which would be unreal. So it's just going to be cool to see what sort of happens. I think there'll be a few trends that'll start when everything reopens. Whether they work or not will be interesting, but then I think there'll be some sort of online thing that will really stick, and that everyone will try to copy and it'll work well.
I'm a environmental person. I love being in the environment. And, you can't replicate, whether it be running out in the bush.
Yeah.
You're in your lounge room, you've got the bush, the virtual screen going, but there's no much better feeling than being out, doesn't it, on the coastal trek and just being in the zone, in the moment. So, I probably couldn't do it myself.
No, there are people that love it though. Hey, and you hear people say, some gyms are intimidating, and I don't have, if they've got some anxiety or they've got some issues with some, hurdles to jump in terms of being able to go to a gym. It's a massive market that you could tap into now, is helping those people to be able to still be active and train and have accountability. You tell them we're going to do 7 p.m. every single Tuesday night. You better be on, it's a cool little thing that might be a little side hustle for some gyms to be able to help people with that.
Yeah, I notice what I think has grown, especially in that, just going off the social platforms. I don't have any research into it, but I think, it was already on a boom anyway, but yoga, virtual yoga, a lot more wellness centers offering the yoga at 6 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock at night, just to unwind, download yourself. And so that could be on the growth as well, in Pilates classes or mat classes. More and more I'm seeing just pop up on my Instagram, sort of the adverts that come through. So perhaps that's growing. I mean, you had to look into a bit more, but what's your thoughts, mate? This is a big one. What's your thoughts on, like, community is huge. So people love going to CrossFit and stuff.
Yep.
I wonder how they're going to rebound. I can't talk into it. I've never been into a CrossFit gym. I've never been into a CrossFit box.
Yeah.
I wonder how people are going there, because that's a real community feel where they're pushing each other all the time on these workouts. How are they going at home, I wonder?
I've got no idea. And that's like, I'm not from I haven't done CrossFit either. But I have thought that. I have thought, like, I think that the places that are in danger, and I think that CrossFit falls into this category, are the ones that are, like, very energy driven. So they rely on just, like, energy. And every session feels like it's got to be intense.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem like they do any, like, average mobility. Like, you don't see it anyway. Well, I feel like I don't see it much. It's always, like, the hard sessions and the intense sessions. And I think that, I think that that's impossible to almost get online, because they work off each other's energy in the gym.
They do.
So, like, they sit there and they compete, and they're like, well, if he's running in front of me, I want to catch him, and I'm chasing him. So because of that, I can't see how it transfers too much into the Zoom stuff. Like, your personality is either you're self-driven or you're externally driven. So if you're someone that needs to rely on what's around you to drive you, or, like, someone telling you that you have to do this in a certain time, then you're going to struggle with that online stuff massively.
Especially if you go, okay, four of us are working X, Y, Z calories on the ski erg.
Yeah.
You got to get, all of a sudden that's taken away from you. What do you?
Right.
It's interesting, isn't it?
On the flip side, I think that's why, like you mentioned, I think Pilates are doing so well, is because it's not based off energy. It's based off technique and form. So if you're watching a screen and you're just going through, and it's a calming thing, like, it's about relaxing, switching off, and all the opposite of the intense stuff. So I think that that's why Pilates and yoga are booming so much online, is because you can be in the calming influence of your house, and you don't need motivation. You just need to just have the screen, and you can just follow what you got to do, and it's relaxing. As in the gym, you're relying on the music being loud to motivate you. You're relying on the people to be yelling at you to hurry up and do stuff. You're relying on your person next to you pushing you to do a hard thing on the ski or whatever it is. So I think that that's why the industry for yoga and that is doing so well, is because it fits what everyone's doing right now, which is they're home on their own. So if you can be calmed and sit there and watch that, I think that's why people are digging into it so much.
Yeah, I was talking to some of my corporate stuff. I've been doing little videos, just 3-minute education videos. Again, we can go too long and people zone out, but it's all about undressing your thoughts. Like, every day, I at the end of the day, I take the clothes off to go to bed. I undress my thoughts, whether it be journaling or whether it just be trying to just take some time to breathe deeper. I'm not right into this breathing workshops or, the Wim Hof sort of methods, but I've always just taught myself how to slow the breathing down, the pace down, because I'm high energy. I'm a type A personality, mate. I'm flushing the button while I'm still peeing, I'm tapping those. I'm over the road there before, just tapping the thing. Come on, green man, go. Come on, green man. So, I've got to just unwind. I've got to reset every night, and otherwise, mate, I go to bed and the adrenaline's still going. And I've suffered adrenal fatigue. I look at those high intensity training sessions, and I've been there. I've been an athlete. I've worked with athletes. I've got people prepared for huge events. We need to work our foot to the throttle sometimes, but there's a lot of time when we just need to pull back. And I think this period of time, we have a different stress on our body.
Yep.
There's environmental stresses hitting us, and we need to understand that those stresses do cause the body to break down as well.
Yep.
And so our training doesn't need to be. Look, I caught myself. I was getting up every morning, in trying to ride 50Ks doing these street circuits.
Mm.
And I was loving it. I was back to my youth, I think I'm going to beat the clock here. And all of a sudden I think, what am I doing this for?
Yeah.
Because it was causing me more fatigue throughout the day.
Yes.
And I just couldn't get myself out of this addictive personality. Again, this adrenaline was pumping. And so, mate, it's really important that we go, and this time, let's just, train to an intensity it's going to get us to maintain our fitness.
Yep.
Unless you're an Olympian athlete, now the Olympians have had to step back as well and reset for next year.
Yep. Yeah.
The NRL players have had to step back and go, okay, it's now a little mini pre-season we're doing again.
Yeah.
So we've got to take heed of the professionals, see what they're doing, and not just flog our body all the time, flog our mind all the time.
I think that's the one thing that I hear at a lot of gyms, and it drives me insane, is when they say like, "Oh, train like a professional athlete with us," and all they do is flog them. And I'm like, professional athletes don't just get flogged all the time. Mm-hmm. Like they've got just as much recovery, just as much rehab that they try to match in terms of how much work that they do. So if you're not willing to give them the recovery tools and all the other stuff to go with it, then you can't just go flogging everyone every day, because like you said, eventually everything's just going to break down, and the stress on your body is just too much to handle all of that.
100%, mate. I think one of the things that we're getting wrong as trainers, and there's some really good trainers that do a great job at it, but monitoring the load of our client. Yep. And, always one of the biggest things that, I'm trying to encourage trainers out there is that you engage again. We're talking about if you really care, you really want to service your client, is you find out what they've been doing that day. It might be the first thing in the morning as well, by the way, but the last couple of nights, I've had some rest. You've got a little 19-month-year-old, but I've got a 7-year-old who's been in our bed every night. So I've been, she's the queen of the bed, mate. I'm sleeping on the edge like bloody cliffhanger. So it's not quality sleep.
Yep.
So we've got to engage and say, okay, what's been going on for you for the previous 24 hours, 12 hours, whatever it's been since I saw you. Oh, come on, downstairs. So it's important that we understand the wellness. That's not just the fitness, isn't it? It's everything.
That's right.
Could be a big takeover at work that's been going on. They could be out of work at this current time. They could have never had to deal with job seeker. Mate, it took me 2 hours to read some of the information on job seeker.
Yeah.
I was pulling my hair out, Greg.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, isn't it?
So it causes a different stress. And all of a sudden they come in to train with us and we go, okay, we're going to do 1 kilometre repeats on the treadmill at 3-minute pace. You've got to do it. What? So,
yeah. I hope that just before we finish up, I'm going to ask you a question, but just the last thing from me, I just hope that like going back into the gyms, everyone doesn't try to flog everyone straight away. Because as you know, like if people have been not doing that much or done no training at all, the last thing you want to do is go into an environment from day one where the doors open and they go, all right, we're doing, and we're flogging you off the first session. Because I just really hope that they don't do that, because the injuries are just going to be coming out everywhere. People haven't jumped in so long, people haven't skipped or, whatever in so long. And then all of a sudden they're going to ask them to lift heavy and do all this crazy stuff. And that's the only thing that I'm hoping that gym owners and people that are running sessions just allow people to kind of ease back into it. Like don't go all out from the first week or two, because I think it's going to cause more problems than good.
Well, hopefully people have been doing some stuff so they're kept a fitness level up. But that's a big concern. It's a great point, because if you look at reintroduction of our athletes, they aren't going to get hammered from day one.
Yep, exactly.
They may do a little assessment, and I think that's, as fitness professionals, you've got your Cert 4 in fitness, if you've got your university degree, we all know that we must be doing an assessment.
Yeah.
And I think maybe if we just go back and reassess, whether it be, your fitness questionnaire, pre-exercise questionnaire, whether it be you put them through a functional movement screen, it could be the FMS one, or it could be your own. You're doing some, just see how they're moving, how their body is coping. Then you start to load them with whatever fitness assessment you've got, just to see where they are, It might be a sub-max fitness assessment, whatever it might be, but I think it's really important as well. Does that occur in a big chain? No, you go straight into your aerobics class and boom, we're into it.
That's what I'm worried about. I just really hope they program it properly. I hope that they sort of and it comes down to, again, explaining to the members why you're doing it. Like you can, if you want to flog everyone all the time, then like so be it. But at least for the first couple of weeks, explain to your members like, hey guys, like just letting you know, we're easing into this. Like, you know, we're not going to just like ask you for demand straight away. You know, because I can just see you see everyone box jumping and lifting heavy and running, you know, doing sprints and doing stuff straight away. Hate to say it, but not everyone has been training this whole time. That people have, even if they're only doing 1 or 2 a week, they might want to go back and do their 5 or 6 sessions a week like they used to do. And I just hope that it's on us to like look after our clients. It's on us to look after our members. So I hope that everyone just programs properly for the first couple of weeks to reintroduce them, get the oil running through their body again, get it all going and moving properly, and then you can slowly increase the intensity again. Yeah,
great points. And I think, mate, with me, just my closing thoughts are, if someone sees this YouTube video, this Zoom video, that you're new to training or you want to get in, you've just taken on a new health regime, and you've enjoyed it doing it yourself, but you think, I might join a gym now. Key principle for me is find someone who's got a bit of skin in the game, but also that have that genuine credentials that will assess you.
Yep.
And they don't promise the world to deliver the outputs. There's too many trainers out there that are saying, okay, I can do this for you, because they just want you to be a client.
Yep.
At the end of the day, let's stay within our lane. But also when we got a new client coming in or an existing client who's re-entering the fitness environment, that we take that time, as you just said, to assess where they're at, find out what their new goals may be.
Yep.
And program from that diligently. I mean, if you've got the qualification, the accreditation, that is actually ethics. You should be doing that anyway.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. Mate, I appreciate your time. You're a legend. I've always been messaging you and chatting back and forth with you, and when I run into you with mutual friends and stuff, I've always appreciated your chats and stuff. So
pleasure. Likewise, coming back at you, mate, like a little mirror reflecting.
Funny because I remember messaging you and saying like, you know, like I want to pick your brain and learn off you and stuff like that. And the best thing I've heard from you is that you said like it goes both ways, and that's really refreshing, because there's nothing more annoying than someone that thinks that they know it all. And so to have an open conversation with someone that you know is willing to continuously learn, which you've always said, that's awesome. So that makes me look up to you even more as a professional. So hopefully I can get 25 years out of it like you have.
Mate, you will, mate. I look forward to a relationship growing, buddy. But just a little food for thought. I've never thought myself bigger and better than anyone. I was presenting one day up at the fitness industry up on Jupiter's Casino, and I shared the stage with a gentleman, and that night all the presenters got together and spoke, and I just questioned one of the things he was talking about. It was sort of like he was this guru or this. He actually sat on a stool and he had a whole stage. He just sat on a stool like looking down, and it's like, wow, it's like this guru. And I followed him afterwards, but some of the stuff he presented and I just didn't agree with. And he said it at the dinner. Mate, they've paid to be here. Doesn't matter. Right. And I said, what do you mean? And I just remember this point. I said, mate, do you wipe your backside?
Yeah.
He said, what? I said, when you go to the toilet, do you wipe your backside? And he goes, yeah, why? I said, mate, we all do. We're all at the same level. Doesn't matter if you've got this leadership title or you've got this, CEO status. In the end of the day, we're all human.
Yeah.
And we should be all, on the same level, just building into each other and bringing in, building up, and then breaking people out, empowering them, and saying, hopefully, mate, I can do that and continue to do that, and mate, look forward to journeying with you.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, mate. And I'm sure that after all this is over, we'll catch up and have a couple more chats and go from there.
Yeah, sounds good. Enjoy Wagga, mate, when you're back.
We'll do. Back on Monday. So I'll head back on Monday.
Enjoy it, mate. Thanks heaps, Greg.
Appreciate it heaps, Clint. And I'll chat to you soon.